What's up, everybody? Thanks for clicking on the video. I got a special treat for you. As some of you probably already noticed, I've been making the rounds on a lot of the live streams, been getting on a lot of panels with a lot of other YouTubers, and every now and then something will happen where it will just be absolute 100% gold. And that's what I'm about to show you today, a clip that some of you have probably already seen if you watch Obsidian's live streams a lot. There was a situation on there where there was a female guest who I started interrogating her about something, to put it mildly, and it's about a probably 10 to 12 minute clip that I'm going to play for you. Then I'm going to give some analysis. It was everybody on there, me, Obsidian, Black Ram, Game Changer, Gab Talk Media. A lot of us went in on on this young lady. I damn near feel bad about it because I started it with a line of questions that I was asking her, and it kind of just evolved into a whole ordeal, changed the course of the show. I feel bad for showing it, but it does highlight something about women seeking attention even when they're in a relationship. And so it's worth playing again. If you didn't catch it already on Obsidian, you're going to catch it here. Here's the clip.
But I want to ask Danniel a question, and since we was on the subject of her man, and this is kind of a petty question, I admit, but I'm just curious because you've talked about your man, you've trumped him up like he's this great guy.
He's the best just in sliced bread. Yes, he is.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm just curious. When I used to notice you in the chat and jumping on panels when you had the one picture up, we could see your face, but it was a mirror in the background, and it was a nice shot of your ass in that mirror, so it seemed like you deliberately went out your way to make sure that your ass was in that picture while coming into male spaces.
Oh, shit.
How did your man feel about that? I'm just curious. This is a petty question. I understand. It's a little petty.
As a matter of fact, that was one of the things that attracted my man. My man like ass. So
I know, but how do you feel about you displaying that ass in a male space? He already that ass is his ass.
When he saw it, he was satisfied. We're grown, so me and my man aren't young. We're grown. My man is satisfied. My man is happy. My man didn't have a problem with it, honey.
No. I'm sure your man liked your ass.
You didn't really see a whole lot of curvature, and if you saw it, then it's an ass. You ain't never seen no ass before.
No. Either you're not. Hold on. I got this gap. Either you're not understanding the question.
You asked.
Hold on.
How did my man feel about my ass being on display in male spaces? Correct?
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, and I just said my man had no problem with it.
Okay, so yeah,
her man was a simp.
Good point, Bernard. Good point, Bernard. I see what you was doing, bro.
Exactly.
He's not a simp. He's not a simp.
Hold on.
You saw a waist, but you didn't see a whole ass. Child, please. You didn't see a whole ass.
Hold on. Let me get this a little bit further. Out of all the 1,000 pictures you got in your phone before you came on YouTube to jump on Obsidian's chat room and his panels, you specifically chose the one that had your ass visible, and it takes skill to get your face and your ass in the same shot. That takes skill.
Does it? Have you ever tried it?
Precision. You mean precision?
Have you ever tried it?
That was precision guided ass.
Yeah. That takes a lot of work. I mean, you went out your way to get that perfect shot to come in a male space to make sure your face and your ass was visible. I just want to know how your brother feel about it.
What was the purpose?
How does he feel about it?
What was the purpose? It was I thought my smile looked great. That was my real hair out at the time. I was trying to show my hair off.
Hey, listen, she wanted attention from someone or others other than her man. That was the intent.
Boom. Explosion.
It was a nice picture.
Danielle, Danielle, this is no personal disrespect. But you see how, even when women are I'm not talking about you, Danielle, but you see how even when these black females are in relationships, they still need the attention that a prostitute needs by showing themselves to hundreds and hundreds of men and putting themselves constantly on display. Those are whore tendencies. I'm not talking about you, Danielle. I'm just talking about in general.
I understand where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from. But the whole thing about it is we're not in each other's relationships. What might be good for my relationship may not be good for your relationship.
You're missing it.
Well, I know I get exactly what he's talking about. I get exactly what he's talking about. No, and because he's talking about saying that we need a Obsidian.
Danniel Curry.
I get it, but I don't feel like it's necessarily attention that we need from everybody else as much as we like feeling good about ourselves. I like the picture. I thought it was a nice picture. Huh?
Does he know you on here right now having this kind of conversation?
He's actually listening in. He's listening in. He's listening in. And matter of fact, he told me he makes 110 a year. That's what he told me to tell y'all.
Oh shit!
Well, you
damn,
did
dude.
100, but could you
He said 110 or 410?
Danielle, could you put him on?
110. Again?
Could you put him on, please?
No. Put him on for what?
Oh, of course not.
Well,
we have to learn. We need to learn from
It seems overly convenient that your opinions and your views matches his exactly in each and every single facet of this conversation. Very suspicious. So therefore, I would like to hear it directly.
You know what?
Bernard.
Game changer.
I mean,
let me say this. Let me say this.
View that doesn't mirror yours. So
let me say this. In order for us to be together, like attracts like, correct? So in order for us to be together, we have to agree on a lot of shit, correct? That's how relationships work.
So basically, what you're saying, Danielle, is that you don't actually bend to his will or desire.
How do you figure that, sir?
I'm speaking. What happens is you actually just went out and found somebody that agreed with everything you agree with.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I want to show my ass on Do you like big girls? I'll only marry you if you like big girls. But you're not
game changer.
Yourself. You're not actually shaping yourself to the man that you want. You're only wanting the man who's shaped to what you want. That's what's going on. Now, perhaps I'm wrong. Put him on and prove me wrong.
The thing about it is, game changer, I'm not fucking you, so I don't have anything to prove to you, darling.
Yeah, why are you here?
Honey, this was an open forum.
What are you doing here? If there's nothing to prove, why are you?
Sir, Obsidian asked if anybody wants to come up on the panel and have their say. I decided to come up on the panel and have my say.
Yeah, but why do you want to have a say if you have nothing to prove?
Sir, I wanted to have my say because that's what I wanted to do.
Is your man happy that Game Changer is talking to you like this right now?
If my
man felt like I couldn't handle myself in these spaces, he would advise me not to do.
I would be checking
certain shows. And sometimes he does tell me not to go on certain panels and not to do certain panels.
All I got to say about it is I'm just fascinated by the plethora of Norman Bates bitches in the black manosphere. They're just like Norman Bates.
Yep. And Obsidian, let me address Game Changer.
What the hell does that mean?
You know what Norman Bates is, right?
No.
From the Bates Motel, the movie and shit. Psycho.
I mean, like Norman Bates always talks about his mom, but you never actually see him until the very end.
But you know what, Game Changer? My man just sent me a message and he told me to tell you he thinks you're a whole incel, and he just wanted me to let you know that. But you'll find out who he is.
He knows the language.
Put him on and I'll tell him what I think of him. Put him on.
Hey, Game Changer.
What's up?
I want you to also just slightly disagree with you. You said she met a man that thinks like her. I submit to you that she didn't meet a man that thinks like her. She met a man who was willing to be led and trained, therefore think like her. That's the meaning of
led and trained. How?
There is a lot of that.
Because you know what? Now, I'll prove it just real quick. Because as a woman, showing your buttocks and all on social media and probably got 1,000 Instagram photos, as a woman and being a woman's man, you know, being with a man in a close relationship, you should have the common decency and shame not to want to show off your goods to everybody. I'm sure you probably got a large body count.
Shame.
So what picture are you looking at now?
Where is the decency? No,
what picture are you looking at now?
I'm just addressing the photos that the gentlemen are addressing.
Okay.
And again, I'm not
saying she changed. Oh, so you changed, Danielle? You might have changed a little bit.
Shame.
Danielle, did you change a little bit? Is that why you saying?
I changed to fit my relationship to better please my man. My man my man has no objections about who I am because I go out of my way to please my man. I go out of my way to make sure my man is satisfied.
But that's what they was
my
asking you
relationship is
about.
centered around my man. I treat my man as the prize. So whatever it's gonna take to please my man, that's what I do.
Okay, so is that why you changed your kind of your photo?
Yeah, because I don't. It's
So
not
he
on display
doesn't
for
like
everybody
that,
else
then.
to see.
I know, but you
I'm
said
not
he
gonna-
liked it at first. It was
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute, let her go, dog.
Let me say this.
Here comes
No,
the
I didn't have to change my photo because my man had a problem with it. But at the same time, when you really get into a person, I don't need everybody else's attention. I got whose attention I want.
Danielle, you said completely opposite. Danielle, you said something completely opposite.
One at a time. One at a time,
fellas.
Danielle, you said something completely opposite, and this is why it's terrible to listen to females. You
I said my
one
man
thing
liked it.
and then said another.
I said my man likes it.
Then you
I
said
said my man likes it. I changed it because I don't want the attention from other men now. I don't need the attention from other men now.
But you did then.
Let me say something real quick.
I'm not gonna say I needed it then. I really thought it was a nice picture.
My man runs nothing.
We all thought it was a nice picture too.
Your man runs nothing.
We know that you had a serious future behind you.
You do, huh?
We all know that you had a serious future behind you. That's why we like the picture too.
You know what? I want to point out something real quick. Real quick. This is an excellent example of female hypocrisy. At first, she was bold and standing behind it, and then when most of us turned against it and said, "No, this is not cool," now she not cool. This is exemplary.
That's not what I said at all.
Listen.
He's trying to flip that
Not you saying, Black Ram 313, that this is a live fire example of black female fuckery.
No, it is not.
Everything we have been.
How am I proving anything? I said my man liked the picture. I liked the picture. I understand. I felt like it was a nice picture. I didn't have a problem with the picture.
We liked it too. We thought it was a really nice picture. All that future behind you there.
Shame.
We really liked it.
Ding, ding,
Do
ding.
you see the picture that's up now?
Shame.
It didn't come from my man telling me to take the picture down or he didn't like the picture. I changed the picture because I understood what y'all was doing.
She's saying she does what she wants to do, dog.
We want the Back to the Future picture.
Well, there it is. I couldn't help but laugh on that one. It's funny when even Gab of Gab Talk Media, even when Gab has to take his cape off. When you see Gab take his cape off and start going in on a chick with us, you know it's bad. Because Gab is normally caping for him. He couldn't even withstand that one. But just as far as the young lady involved, she's a good sport. She comes on there. She goes under the firing squad. And she takes it on the chin. And a lot of the times, most of the time, she will confess to her fuckery, and sometimes she got to get dragged kicking and screaming to that confession, but she will confess, and she will, she'll admit her areas where, she's kind of wrong and kind of on some fuckery, but she'll stand in there and argue her point. But this one, it was no escape, and she was on some no retreat, no surrender type shit. So yeah, it got bad, but that highlights the point, and not to just dogpile on her. And this doesn't even have to be specifically about her. What I'm saying going forward, but we saw it in live action. So, but it more specifically, looking at this from a general perspective, it is a serious thing that has always been the case where women have liked attention, but the attention is more amplified nowadays. It's not just the attention of the guy that's passing by, the cat calling or the street harassment, as they like to call it. It's not just the guy on the street that's approaching you or the guy at the club. It's all the social media. It's like a constant dopamine hit that women are getting on a regular basis. Before, if a woman was approached once or twice a week, that was something that, those were her 2 dopamine hits, or maybe small, subtle dopamine hits if she sees guys checking her out. But if only 2 of them are approaching per week, that was the dopamine hit that women were used to. But nowadays, the game has changed. They got dating apps where they could easily have 20 to 30 men, if not more, messaging them per day. There have been studies done where average-looking women can get up to 60 guys messaging them per day. And a lot of those guys are willing to take them out on real dates and everything. So they're not just getting hit up just for hookups with, most women can get that. A lot of these women, average looking women, getting hit up out of the 60 guys messaging them, anywhere from 5 to 10 of them are offering to take them out on real actual dates. So even the average looking woman has guys lining up to take her out, and then another 60 that she's just using for attention. And that's just the dating apps. That says nothing about Facebook, the messenger on Facebook. It says nothing about her inbox on Instagram. It says nothing about her any other social media she has going on. Rather, she's posting pictures on Twitter, Snapchat. That's the one that I couldn't think of because I'm just not ever going to use Snapchat. I've drawn the line in the sand. Snapchat doesn't exist to me. But yeah, she getting attention on there as well. So with all this attention, now remember when I talked about that dopamine hit that they used to get just when, maybe a few guys a week would shoot their shot, and if they were in a relationship, those few guys who approach them per week, they could fend that off. They could say no and just enjoy the dopamine hit of a guy approaching them. But now it's to the point to where the normal dopamine hit isn't enough to get them high anymore. They need a stronger drug because they've OD'd on this shit, and they've got, more specifically, they've got desensitized to it. They're used to it. They're immune to it. It's like puffing a cigarette. People who smoke cigarettes say the first time they hit a cigarette, they get a buzz. They feel like they got high off that cigarette. Now they can't even get a buzz off a cigarette no more. They're just doing it out of habit. They need something stronger. It's like that with this. It's like the normal amount of attention does nothing for them. They need a ridiculous amount of attention, and even when they're in a relationship, that need for that attention does not go away. I could see how before social media, a woman could be in a relationship and just subtly enjoy the couple guys per week that may approach them. But when they get used to 60 guys messaging them per week, when they get used to that, they get in a relationship, they don't want that to stop. They need to feel that feeling. It's not enough that a man is there for them, that guy could be giving his all his attention to them, devoting all he has. Even if they're living together, he's working hard every day to provide for her. He's doing everything he can. It's not enough. It may be enough for some things in some areas, but that dopamine hit of attention for a lot of women nowadays, one guy cannot in any way, shape, or form fulfill that need that they have because they've gotten used to it. It's turned into a drug that they've had an overabundance of and just have gotten used to it, and it just more. And I do got to point out, because somebody else made this argument, I can't even remember who it was, but some of it is our fault as men, because what do we do when we go on social media? We're clicking a like button on every picture we see where a woman is in a contorted way where she has her face and her ass somehow in the same shot at the same time, or the picture isn't available right now. I don't think the picture's on social media anymore. The picture that we were talking about in this video, where she was had her body, had the mirror set up to where it was a mirror strategically placed behind her to where you could see a full body shot of her from the back while seeing her face from the front. So you could see her face in the front of the picture, and you can see her full body back shot from behind, where she, had on a nice dress. You can see a nice ass. She had a nice ass. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. She had a nice ass in the picture. But when we're liking all those pictures like that, we're adding on to that drug. We're giving them that little dopamine hit after hit after hit. And I don't like pictures anymore. But I do like to look at them. That part I'm guilty of. I'm subscribed on Instagram to some women who take nothing but pictures like that. I like to look at them. I can't shake that one. But I'm not about to be hitting the like button all in the comment section, and I for good goddamn sure it's not going to be sliding in the DM of a fucking Instagram model. That will never happen. But I do like to look. So that's the bit of it where I will hold men accountable for our actions and how we contribute to all of the attention whoring that goes on. But this brigade of attention whoring is at a it's at a critical point right now. It's out there and it's a thing, and it makes you question the inevitable outcome of someone like, for example, an Aisha Curry, who no doubt gets attention from men. Her saying she doesn't get attention, that's bullshit. She definitely gets attention from men. Even if they're not shooting a full-blown shot, they're looking at her with admiration. She's getting compliments and they're occasionally flirting with her, looking at her with admiration or giving compliments. Those three things have been happening over the past 10 years. The problem is she just needed she longs for a stronger dopamine hit. And that's where all this attention leads to. When they get used to this extreme amount of attention, they now need the stronger dopamine hit. And it puts the good men who are actually searching for, longing for an actual decent, healthy relationship. It puts them in a situation where they have to step back and question whether that's the right way to go. And for a lot of guys, that's not even a question anymore. I see it in my comment section. A lot of them are responding with, yep, that's why I just pump and dump, and that's what it has come to. With a lot of guys, count me amongst the naive. I still would actually like to see better relationships, and good relationships would lead to marriage, and a healthy marriage would lead to raising kids, and raising kids with the mother and father committed to each other is the best way to raise a family. But the marriage laws are all fucked up, and it turns out to be a lose-lose situation for the guy. But that's a whole nother story, a whole nother debate, a whole nother topic that I'll get on and get into. But this is all I got on this subject. I'm going to be showing more of these panel discussions when something happens that's pure gold that I think people will like to hear, because Obsidian, especially when he does anywhere from 3 to 8 hour streams. But if I participate in a part of the stream and could pull out a good part that was absolutely 100% gold, where I was a part of the conversation, he gave me permission, said it's okay if I go ahead and use that as part of my channel. So I'll be doing that. You could expect more streams like this coming forward. But that's all I got on this one. I'm out.